Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Netrunner players. We are back here in Edinburgh, Scotland for the 2025 Netrunner World Championships. My name is still Cranked.
My name is Andrej.
And we're about to start round 2 here any minute, but we have our answer as far as what are the most represented IDs, what IDs are popular today. As expected, on Corp's side, the number 1 represented ID, LEO Construction. HB is back. Baby.
By a fair margin, it is what you're expecting all your matchups to be today. No, I'm kidding. It's about 70 players. That's still the highest margin by a fair bit.
HB the most, I believe the most represented faction as well, though not by much, about 36% of the field, almost 37.
Things have changed.
Representing HB. Yeah, Elevation, when the Elevation came out, people thought HB was dead.
Yeah. And, okay, there's still issues. The agenda swings kind of weird. But, yeah, we're seeing a fair bit of LEO. I think that's actually almost entirely LEO at this point. PD's not doing too bad. And I think we're actually expecting a bit more core damage PD, some combo PD decks. I don't know if we're expecting that sort of, welcome to System Gateway 2021 World Championship Rotom Appliance Classic PD. He's not playing it today, I don't think. But we're seeing a bit more of this combo stuff. I want to shout out Seb K, who just arrived today, taking a major Continentals, also on PD. And I'm expecting that to be the same sort of core damage PD, but we might find out throughout this day.
In second place, we have Ayuko, the big egg, the big scary egg, representing about 17% of the field. But then a bit of a surprise in third place, Jinteki Restoring Humanity.
Yes, and there's a lot of really strong players who are on this sort of RH Glacier deck. This is something that you might have known of the last couple of weeks. Restoring Humanity from System Gateway, you can play that 44 card minimum deck and only play 18 agenda points. And that ID ability is actually quietly really good. A lot of your ice is relatively expensive, and then it's up to you to figure out, are you playing only 6 agendas and having that really big Glacier option? Are you playing 4-2s and maybe even a 5-2 and trying to push a bit more aggressively? Where do you line up, and how does that matchup go against some of the criminals who are preparing for Glacier? It's going to be very fascinating to see this. I like this deck a lot.
And then heading over to runner's side, again, as expected, Criminal in top place with close to 50% of the field.
Half the field, yes.
Sable. Yusha Sable Santashta, the most popular runner in the field, followed closely by Mostly Hot. Any thoughts on our new Criminal friends?
That's been the narrative for the last couple of weeks, if not last couple of months, is that Sable is the number 1 runner, but then Mostly Hot, being less represented, is doing better on paper. And I think we're going to see the same thing today. A lot of people I've talked to, if you're playing against LEO, you sometimes can't run all the time, and Sable's ability of being attached to successful runs sometimes feels worse compared to Mostly Hot, whose ability, while runs can be interacted with positively and negatively with Leo's ability, at least you get that sort of ID ability or ID value almost regardless of who you're playing against.
And then following up after our criminals, we have Hoshiko in third place.
That's how it be. It's always going to be like that.
Good old Hoshiko.
Yeah.
Nothing beats that. And then a couple of shapers. We got Lat and Magdalene Kino Chematai.
Yeah, it's cool. We also have a bunch of identities that, of course, have 1 to 3 players in it. That's just how it's going to be. But those are the majority. And again, criminal is the expectation here. And then we have a quarter Anarch and a quarter Shaper. I don't know. I think the RH is the one most surprising thing. And I think some of the players that maybe you were wondering what they're going to play. So, we checked this out. For round 1, we didn't get to see gameplay because we have 5 players cashing in a buy. But I believe Sokka, for instance, playing RH Glacier. I know a bunch of folks, at least from my testing team, are playing some RH Glacier stuff too. It's a list we're going to see. I'm excited to see it on camera.
As you mentioned, RH, a lot of different builds. It's kind of hard to suss out what you might be up against. You mentioned a 5-2, spoilers. Even a 3-1 Regenesis plays really, really nicely in RH. RH can occasionally run into some problems scoring, especially if you're on the only 6 agenda suite. So having that 3-1 to sort of cheat out 3 extra points can be pretty critical. Looks like round 2 is being paired and starting right away. So we'll be cutting over to our table in no time at all.
Now, I can't tell too much because I'm stuck in this room, but after this round, I know we're going to be out, we're going to be walking about, so we'll have some in-field reporting. But I've heard from players that the dolls counts on the tables, kind of anecdotally, is high. And obviously 6 is already high for a certain deck, but it looks like dolls are being played. And so again, we'll see the decks that capitalize on that well. Maybe you have the Samoons in your RH deck, you already have that built-in sort of tech. Maybe that's enough. Maybe that pushes you in the right direction. But Anoetic Voids, that stuff works.
Yeah, dolls has a really hard time running multiple times in one turn, especially just early in the game when you don't have the engine set up. Usually takes until the late game when you have 4, maybe even $5, and that often isn't enough.
Yeah.
So.
Looks like round 2, we're just about to begin. We're going to do a real quick check on some of these alt arts. This looks good to me.
Ooh.
Perfect. Thank you.
That person has some good taste.
Yeah, really good taste there. Yeah, if you're watching again, it's very important to understand that alternate arts are available. You can play with basically, as long as it's standard legal, or sorry, tournament legal. So you might see a lot of alt arts that go back to FFG days. Actually, no, that's not true. Usually you won't see that. But NSG arts, a lot of arts from the community. There's a lot of different things you can see here. So we're going to try and do our best on the table. If you see a card, you don't know the card, we'll try and tell you what it is. We should know.
Alternatively, ask in chat. I'm sure all the friendly chatters, shout outs to chat in both Twitch and YouTube, and on the internet there, will be happy to tell you what cards might be on the table.
We're just about to dive into round 2. And this is an important round. Again, round 1, we had 5 players with a bye. You do, at the end of today, we're going to be playing 11 rounds of single-sided Swiss. And then we have 3 more rounds to take it up to 14 tomorrow. Now, to be invited back to tomorrow, technically, you should be about 21 points. If you're not at the 21 points, if you haven't won 7 games today, you're not really competitive to the point that you should be playing tomorrow, or it makes sense if you want to make top 16 specifically. You can always just play if you want to. It's fun. It's never. That being said, tomorrow, there's a lot of nice stuff, side events, a lot of ways to get cool prize support tickets to take to the prize wall, which is a new thing this year. So we're gonna have a lot of people just playing for fun.
Yeah, absolutely. We have people playing for fun, not in COS yesterday. I know Oxu was saying that he was just drafting all day.
Yeah. Toronto's running a draft, so anybody not at COS, at least there's 8 players there playing this. I think it goes up to Quorum, I've been told. So some old cards. Specifically, if you haven't been playing for that long, trying to see some of the old FFG stuff is really fun. It looks like round 2, we're just about to begin. We might be throwing to the table here, so let's see what we have for us. On the left, that's Augustus Caeser. You get that, hello, my name is Tiebreaker signed playmat. We're going to see some RH Glacier against Bridgeman. Whoa, this is a round 2.
This is a banger matchup. Oh, I'm so excited.
2 of the strongest European players. Augie on the left, RH Glacier again. We're guessing it's a 44-card deck. And so our ability, if there's a face-down card in Archives, we're going to get a credit. Love to see it. A lot of the stronger players, they are going to ice up Archives relatively soon. Some of the interesting cards, we don't have subliminal messaging anymore, but if you throw out a Petty Cash, don't play it. Like, it just chills in there, and if they run it, then you just play the Petty Cash. So that is another line, another play pattern. On the right, sorry?
Go ahead.
Bridgeman. This is Finn. You might know him. He appears on a card that actually Urban Renewal is no longer in the format, so maybe you don't know, but such a consistent player. 5 years in a row hitting the top 16 at Worlds. And while he has officially retired, in quotes, from competitive play, he's still showing up and doing really well at things, which is both frustrating, but also just a treat to watch him play because he is a very interesting and a very, he builds up very cool decks that are very Bridgeman.
One of the most innovative deck builders probably in the history of the game, I would say.
Multi-card combo shaper, that is one of his favorite things. My expectation is it's going to be a lat deck, maybe with Knick-Knack, maybe with some of these reusable breakers that have charges, and we'll see how he's going to push forward to see exactly when you get the Euler down at the right time, when you get the Gauss down at the right time. That is the most important thing in the matchup.
And it looks like he is playing shaper. Here is Lat, the ethical freelancer, the menace of last year's Worlds, coming back to haunt yet another World Championships. Looks like both players doing a mulligan. And we are off to the races, Augustus Caeser, with the mandatory draw.
I think there's a chance we won't see the timer behind it. There is a chance that this table... Oh, no, we have a timer at the bottom of the screen, but this table might be on a slightly different timer. We're going to open it with a hedge fund. We're going to be icing HQ. We'll see if we get the face down to Archives. Hanse's your good opening. And some of the face checks can get really bad as soon as turn 1. Things like Cloud Eater, in theory. If you're on 10 credits, that's a real big res. But it looks like we're just going to get 1 piece of ice down, stay at 9, no RH ability. Lat, drawing 3 cards up with a Diesel-like. That's Ritual. You see the hand here?
Spec work.
Nothing super surprising.
We see a Coalesce. Nope, that's looks like Echelon on the left side of the hand there.
Yeah, Fermenter,
Fermenter.
Slow Economy. So we can dump here. We can do DZ, MZ, get down the Fermenter, get the Creative Commission. That's probably like the value line. Again, it's lat, so cards in hand is really important. A lot of these players are going to basically play their entire turn matching hand size to the corporation. Can't tell Augustus how many cards that he has in hand. So it looks like we're just drawing up again. We probably are on...
Oh, we're getting the lat die out.
5.
Oh, shout outs to Augie.
So we're going to go down, DZ, and there you go. Throwing out the Azuma, not going for the Creative Commission instead, and getting the lat draw, drawing into a silent chip. So nothing too spicy so far.
No, as expected.
Yeah.
As expected.
Augie. There's the Hansei review. So we'll see now. This is a 6-credit econ card, and there's the ice on Archives. Now, the face checks can be kind of bad, right? Like, Saisentan's always the nightmare here. But even things like a Vampira Nasa, Martini, those are things that you don't love to run in.
Boto, even. That's 2 net damage.
We'll see how Bridgeman charges this. This matchup is going to be a bit tactical. It might be a bit slower. if it's only 6 agendas, right, the single accesses are not super strong. And for what it's worth in modern meta, Shaper is maybe the deck that is the least obvious what their win condition is in terms of just seeing more cards.
We did see a cataloger in Bridgeman's original opener prior to the mulligan.
Did we?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, prior
Super
to mulligan
important.
we saw a cataloger. So that's a pretty good win condition.
4 cards in the match. That's a full art self-modifying code.
Gorgeous.
We're just going to go ahead and spec work it. So we're going to be drawing, I believe, 3 cards, gaining 2 credits. So just pushing yourself forward. 2-card combo, giving you a bit of efficiency. This does eat the DZMZ trigger, which is a bit ugly, but with this hand, there's not a lot of card draw I think we have access to.
2 cards.
1, 2. We're going to have a lot in cards in hand. Direct access.
Was that a direct
Yes.
access? That's a concession more than likely for Leo, the Leo matchup,
Elio,
right?
Epiphany, it
Oh,
beats.
Epiphany, sure,
Ayuko,
yeah.
it beats sometimes. Very interesting
Yeah,
card.
it's really good against Anemone, I suppose.
Yeah. I shout out, I played Bangoon yesterday. The amount of times I got direct access was frustrating. But for one influence, this is a card that when the meta is, this much LEO, it makes a fair bit of sense as long as you can set it up with the pinholes, right?
Totally.
You need to get the upgrade, then you go for the access.
Yes, you have to get Mersha out of there first, but that's neither here nor there. Back over to Augie, setting up a remote server.
No advance on this card, so you're not worried about the early Charlotte. Not sure exactly what could this be. Maybe humanoid for setup.
No, I practiced with these. It's going to be very difficult.
And it looks like we're just going to continue on with the fermenter charging up here. 6 credits. We won't crack this too soon. You also need to be a bit careful face checking into things like the purge on the fly swatter.
Yes.
As Shaper players are concerned about that. While we have access to simulchips to reinstall, we'll see how that simulchip gets used. It's one of the most important, I think, cards in the matchup if you are dealing with some of the bigger ice, right? Like the turns that you get your Oiler down and you break a Vampire for 2 versus bringing a Vampire for 6 is such a difference maker.
Propeller going into hand.
On the
And
table as well.
And out of the board.
DZMZ getting that down for free. Again, we have 4 counters on this, so the early Samasamuns, the early Botu, we're not going to be spending that many credits to get through. Spending influence is also very fascinating in this deck, right? Like, we've seen a lot of Jinteki Glacier that spends influence on Brawn, and I've seen some players move off of that, and they're still playing, they're now playing Botus in that slot, and then spending influence on big, even Code Gates are really good right now. Enter on Code Gates, MIC shows up.
Yes.
Sometimes Sentries can splash too, as much as people are expecting them. R&D for a single off the top of the deck, our first access. We're not going to see it on camera, but it looks like we're considering a trash cost. Just 2. That's a Charlotte. Very important economy piece on top of La Costa. Considering SMC, we are at 4 of 5 MU, and we're going to get the lat draw. Always want to check if that's a spin doctor in the remote server.
Rigging up going to hand off of the lat draw for Bridgeman.
Yeah, we haven't seen a console yet. What do you expect?
Here's humanoid resources.
Oh, sick. That's tempo. Countdown here. Gain 4, draw 3, install 2, and if you have that operation, that's where this card becomes really quite good. So we'll see here. These are unknown cards. You do pay for these installs, but this card is sneaking into more and more lists, and Restoring Humanity does have that operation economy. There's the Hansei review. Technically a 5 credit card because we have the face down. But look at that money, look at that board state.
The money piles up. You said it earlier. Sneakily strong identity ability on Restoring Humanity. Here is the proof in the pudding.
Missing the first turn. Up on a very healthy 24 credits. No ice res yet, and that ice generally costs somewhere between, I would say, 3 to 6 credits. Maybe a Tattoo Bola sneaks in there. Bridgeman's hand drawing up no Knick-Knack Engine, no console. So might not be the best. We have Rigging Ups, we have Spec Works. I don't know if another SMC is going to enter the bin just to get some more value here, but 4 cards in hand is something we can definitely work towards to get that lat draw.
Do you have an overclock in hand for the self-modifying code?
What do you think their mode is? Another humanoid? Like, the unadvanced card doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
La Costa, maybe?
Yeah, just chilling?
Yeah, just hanging out. It's usually not trashed. Folks tend to let that one stick.
Yeah, I think
especially with Bridgeman only on $8.
Yeah, it's a super important card to deal with. We'll also see how long we're going for a single R&D. We'll see how long that Fermenter goes for, because as long as Augustus has a card on top of La Costa, you're allowed to purge.
Yes.
Maybe you're happy that there's a fly swatter somewhere, but we're going to go for that old school sure gamble, a pair of simulchips. We're going to get the lat draw there up, drawing the 3rd overclock, 2nd overclock. Augustus needs to consider here mandatory draw. R&D is still open, but do you go for the purge? Knocking out 10 credits seems like a lot, but it's not. Like, the economy's still okay on Bridgeman's side.
Right. Sure Gable did a lot of work on that turn.
And the burst money in hand there with the overclocks. We might see enough events here that this is an Onicom list, like direct access overclock kind of pushes me in that direction. I do think Bridgeman likes the 1 per turn triggers. It's a very satisfying goal in any turn.
It's always good to give yourself little mini games to play
it's
during your turn. Lat gives you one
fun.
every turn.
Yeah. Well, looks like Augustus taking a swig of water. That Arsana shirt is sick. Wonder if that's what he's playing on the other side, but Needs to set up here again. We have about 30 minutes left. This is a single-sided round, so this is the only game that matters this round. Thinking about this, again, Augustus has a lot of experience playing Jinteki Glacier, classically played Ag Infusion Glacier a fair bit. We do see the hand a bit. That's a Proprietary Negation on the right side. And a Fuji in hand, so we do have points for sure. I can't tell if there's also a send a message in there, but Proprietary Negation, definitely strong card, and we're going to be pushing for Install Advance with a third ice, saying, what are you going to do? Going to get the RH credit here. With 2 Simulchips, an SMC, and an Overclock. The question is if that's an Anoetic Void.
Yeah, more than likely not the Lacosta grid.
Yeah.
With the single advancement. No reason to do so unless it could be unless we're pushing out a 5-3.
Or we're bluffing.
Yeah.
Now, no pinhole threading in hand. If there's a pinhole, I think you have an easy line here. Open R&D, you can pinhole down the upgrade, you can charge remote server with Overclock. You have the ways to get in. The problem is that direct access is doing nothing. If you wanted 1 influence card in this hand, that's not the one you're going for. Pretty useless in the matchup. Sometimes you just want to get that, I don't know, card cycling while running if you have an Onicom down. Bridgeman thinking here again, Sisyphus on top of a Lacosta is pivotal. Proprietary Negation is obviously very important, but we're going to start click 1 with 5 Iris counters. That'll be 10 credits.
So much money.
Yes, a lot of money. We'll see if we're charging here again. Anoetic, cards in hand really matter, especially in a way that also challenges Lat. But we're going to start here. That's 5 credits for the run. Full art. Scott Aminga doesn't miss.
Probably one of my favorite alt arts in the game on Overclock.
Very good. First ice, Sai Santan, Sentry. Those subroutines are impactful. Now, if you let that fire, you can't just lose the game. So SMC, we'll see what the breaker solution is here. Echelon is 2 strength. That is good enough for this run. But if you're going for a Revolver and you're expecting to run back with an upgrade, so it's Echelon going to be only for 4 credits because of the DZ. And then you break for 3 more.
I'm going to break for 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Continue.
13 left in the tank. Deeper we go. So with the SMCs, there it is.
No step on snack. That's Cloud Eater.
Cloud Eater, massive. And this has text. So at the end of this encounter, once you pass the ice, you have to do one of these subroutines functionally. These are awful to break with Echelon right now. Echelon's 2 strength. I think you have to boost twice. That's 6 credits.
$6 sounds right to me.
It's bad. Now you can just go ahead and start to fill your board up, grab some of your other breakers with your Simulchip. That can save you credits not only in the long run, but also in the short run.
Now, Cloud Eater also heavily suggesting that there could be a cheeky little Sisyphus protocol in this deck.
Very common inclusion, and Cloud Eater is not being broken well by anything in the meta besides Revolver. Fizerum and Tangler
Yeah,
really
Tangler
nice.
does a great job.
But this text is going to be active for this run. So the tags, we can just take the tags. The question is, do you have to play around Mindscaping? It's always this question mark. Jinteki tags are so strange because either they don't matter at all or they matter so much. And clearing 4 tags, you can't do that.
You can't do it. There's never time. Even with the amount of money that Bridgeman has, there's just not the time, and generally it's not worth it.
Notably, too, this card is unique. It's still if one gets res, the second gets trashed, or the other way around. But it's still something you have to respect because it's not uncommon. This is one of the better sentries in these Jinteki lists. I don't think we see that much Empiricist.
Bridgeman deep in the tank on the snake.
This is hard again.
This is a really weird position to be in.
Super expensive break. You also can't choose to end the run on this, so it's not like you can't fire. Actually, I think the text may be on Cloud Eater. Doesn't care about passing, but just when the counter ends. So no matter what, bad thing happened. Yeah, when the counter ends. Thank you, Kato. Bad subroutines. Now, can you let this fire? 3 net damage, you will survive that. Give the runner 2 tags, you survive that. Trash installed runner card. I don't know what's the worst damage here, actually. You might just be able, it might be a lot cheaper just to let that fire.
Yeah, I would guess Simulchip is maybe the best hit here.
Yeah, I could see it. Very powerful card in the matchup. We so far have seen, Propeller, but we have seen regular, conventional breakers. So it's not like we have to do Revolver forever, but Unity.
Fires.
I don't know. I think we just let this fire. It's
Looks
way
like
too
it.
expensive.
Yeah.
4 cards in hand.
You trash 1.
Send it. You would love to hit the direct access.
Yeah, you're right.
Big snake.
Oh, we're doing the trash first.
Yeah. Deciding
It
that
is
there's the
Simulchip.
Simulchip.
Take 2.
That's getting ruined. There's 1 card you're going to keep here. We have to do these all at once, but it shouldn't matter in this matchup too much. And we are losing direct access. Losing an Overclock as well is really important. I don't remember the last card in hand is, but the Overclock is probably one of the better cards you want to keep in that hand. We're just going to pile the tags on. All 4 tags means 1 Mindscaping, game over. Deeper we go. Anemone is game, but we are risking it.
Hafrun.
A sign of an awkward start, but that's saying you can't use the Propeller. You could flicker it with the Simulchip, but we're 2 Simulchips down this early. And we still have to deal with the Anoetic Void. We're going to go for it, saying that upgrade's not real. Simulchip or SMC?
Yeah,
No.
this also works. Go
Yes.
get your decoder.
Yeah, Afrun is both a barrier and a decoder, and when you res it, if you discard a card, You can point at a card and say you can't use it to, I think, break subroutines is the text.
That sounds correct, yes.
Yeah. So we're going to go grab here. I'm assuming it's a Unity. Coming in for 5 credits, and it's going to break, I believe, for 2. This makes the Echelon now also 3 strength, which is nice.
Adrian Sace.
This is such an important side game.
This is so cool.
Okay, Adrian Sace has a lot of text. I know most of it sometimes. The short and the longest are going to play a side game, and you want to win it. If you don't win it, Adrian goes down. If you do win it, you get the agenda Adrian lives.
Yes, you're either accessing the agenda, or ostensibly the agenda, or Adrian, but never both.
Yeah, roll the die. Always bid 0. I'm kidding, but like roll the die.
What do you, if you're Bridgeman, what do you bid here?
Yeah. Oh, we're thinking through here. He wants to match this. Not very common. We only have 5 credits. Again, you're paying with your credit, so this does matter. This has an impact on the economy of the game.
No, I'm thinking.
I don't know. Yeah, it's random here. I think the credit totals are healthy enough that it's just, can you get in your opponent's head? But 2 out of 3 times, it's just the Adrian who leaves.
Now, Augie's on $7 or $5?
Can't tell. I think it's about 7. I think it's 7.
Okay. So
Money was pretty good after all those reses.
Fairly irrelevant. Ooh.
Okay, you got it. And we're going to touch a Proprio negation. 2 points.
Huge.
The amount of resources expended for that run. And still, we are 1 Mindscaping away of 3 damage. Cards in hand on both sides has shrunk. I think it's like 2 to 1. But Bridgeman still has a full turn left over. The overclock will hit the bin, but that's click 1 and 4.
Draw a card.
What a run.
There's a stone ship, too, to continue reloading if you're Bridgeman.
Thinking here again. With 5 credits, you could consider pressuring Archives as long as you have enough credits to break a Sisenton, but getting RH flipped here when RH is on low credits is like a very good angle. There you go. We're checking Archives here. Give me a Konjin into the snake. It looks like no res. Cards are throwing a Sam.
Sam? Hello?
Throwing in a hammer.
Boto?
We're getting a Boto. We're at threat 5 here, so Boto is 6 strength. But that was discarded, it looks like, willingly with that Frun.
And we get the lat draw?
And we get the lat draw.
What a turn for Bridgeman. 4 tags, who cares?
So this means we're playing more than 6 agendas.
Certainly.
So now single access is like just finding the cataloger is probably going to end the game for Bridgeman here. Again, I don't think the standings on the board reflect it. I'm assuming both these players are undefeated at this point. But this is a really, really powerful round 2 matching. You see the hands there. 5 points at a minimum?
Yeah,
Augie looking
Sam. Deeply flooded.
I wonder if there's a read here if you don't ice up R&D. It means either you don't have ice, you can't afford ice, or your hand is kind of agenda goofed.
Right.
Whether that makes Bridgeman want to run HQ here, we'll find out. It is very expensive. Botu, at least it's not that expensive. It's 3 credits, but your propeller goes.
Yeah, three counters off the propeller is the important part, especially with 2 simulchip already in the bin.
Now, I do not know Augustus enough whether this body language is looking like an uphill fight. There's the Anacom, so the console we might have expected. You technically can rigging up the console, and it will fire because it sees the resolution of rigging up.
Yes.
Very cool. There you go.
Here we go. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear.
So we're going to get that free card draw again. This is really nice, too, if you want to just take some tempo damage and refill your hand.
Cup.
Oh,
Cup is terrifying.
I don't know if Bridgeman has enough clicks here to cup R&D, then end the game HQ, but when the cup hits the table, Augustus needs to get those agendas out of hand. We're drawing up. 5 in hand. Not going to get the lat draw, but again, those are tags. You can survive 1 Mindscaping, not 2, but
I think he can survive 2 lat draw.
Yeah, you can.
6.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, just have,
So
have that many cards.
I think Augie would need
we have
exactly,
like 7 cards.
Yeah, exactly the triple.
Yeah.
No, triple doesn't do it. Or triple does do it.
9,
excuse me. Yeah, 9. I can count.
You cooked,
I swear.
you cooked. Yeah. Augie thinking here again. This remote server, you have an agenda. Are you comfortable jamming? You're almost there, right? Like, that's a good server. We have Anoetic in hand, too, but that's harder to fire the worse the hand is. I think that's a void. Credit, discard to hand size is really nice. It's like clicking for credit, but you get that credit over the long term. And so we'll see here, the remote server can just be an Anoetic. We could just cup R&D, send it HQ, and say, I think you have points at this point because your early game looks a bit ugly, and that could close the game out. But we'll see if Bridgeman wants to just continue to set up.
Now, is there a world that Bridgeman thinks that tucking the Sam into Archives is a play for future Regenesis?
I don't know. I don't think you can be on Regenesis if you're on Proprio. I think you just way too many agendas.
Okay.
My guess is you're on mostly 5-3s, and then you have like 1 Proprio, or like maybe 2 or 3 Proprio.
Sure.
It's really tricky. I don't know. This deck, if it's not that slow moving, if it is slow moving, maybe you can place fewer agendas, smaller agendas, excuse me.
Your stone ship.
Just cracking that. Click to draw 2. gamble, an easy way to fire the Unicom this turn if you want.
Loads of money in the hand now.
Yeah, creative as well, mind you. Welcome back to the meta, doing a lot to boost Shaper, as much as only 25% of this meta today. Bridgeman thinking here again, those tags are just going to stick, and while Shaper doesn't have that many resources that are super integral, it doesn't look like it's an environmental testing deck. Maybe there's a telework or two. Dr. Nuka's nice, single off the top, not getting the cup down. That's going to return there. Now the cup comes down for free. Definitely not a great spot, and creative commission to end the turn, 4 credits and a card draw off the Unicom.
And I have to pitch a card, and that's going to be...
I have to discard, but we should get lat draw. No, we did empty, right? No, we should get lat draw here, shouldn't we? Maybe not.
I think you took lat draw.
Yeah, maybe we did. Install, double advance again. Anoetic is underneath there, so we do have a window here. I think there's another agenda in hand.
I agree.
The question is if the read here, we've seen 2 agendas in the top, I want to say about 20 cards. Maybe you expect there to be one more. I think you would. So whether the cup is just to get a card you don't like off of R&D and then you send Essentials into HQ. Let's talk about running the server, right? Like, I don't know how you deal with the Cloud Eater.
I don't think you do.
I don't know if you can let it fire, because then you... That's the weird thing about having the Afrun behind the Cloud Eater, is if you target the Fractor, they break it with the Code Gate Breaker.
Right. Yeah, I don't think you can let the Cloud Eater fire. The trash a card subroutine is really the one you're fearing here if you're Bridgeman.
Drawn up. Some no-nonsense Shaper stuff. You want to install that Cupulation. Again, you have that Coalescence. Comes in +3 credits. Now you can spec work that or do all the other sort of tricks Shaper loves. Again, a lot of their economy is kind of program-based modernly. But I haven't seen a knickknack yet. But Creative Commission, we're just setting up saying, hey, you can score the first one out. And if that's just a Fuji, you don't mind. And send a message also on this board state. Not a lot going on.
Nice outside archives, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, Pinhole, huge draw.
Yeah, Pinhole's good.
Now still, there seems like there's 2 targets in the remote server that you care about Pinhole. One of them could be Lacosta, but I think we know it's an Anoetic from the top-down camera.
Pinhole also a really nice way to load up this Cupulation.
Double advance or triple advance. A Sisyphus. Not amazing. Petty cash. Good. Now you do get +2 credits, but you do remove that from the bin face down, so it does cost you credit. I think we're going to be discarding at the end of turn, so maybe that's okay. And there's a send a message. 3 points there for Augustus clawing back. And the only ice we can res is on archives. Just to go vampy. Pretty good into Unity. If best case you're breaking it for 5, maybe you let some subs fire. And we're sliding that over saying, hey, there's something in HQ, or I want you to think there's something in HQ. We know it's the former. Bridgeman looking focused like normal. R&D still wide open, but we're going to start with the Pinhole here. Whether we're going to go for HQ and then throw the Adrian back at the HQ that he was protecting is rude. Unicom draws a card. I believe we drew Fermenter here.
Bridgeman threw almost in... His deck's looking awful thin.
Been drawn a lot. Unicom does do that. No Nuka so far, but now we're going 3 credits. 3 counters.
Do we know if Augie's only down to 1?
I think it's down to 1 unless he threw the Fuji out. But this is, I think, a 60% chance to seal the game. 1 credit to throw the Cupulation. This is 3 cards Axis tier. This is massive. And we've been seeing a couple cards drawn.
There it is.
Good game. I don't know if there's more in there. We have a Botu, the Henoetic, Charlotte.
There were 2. Okay, so odds were very much in Bridgeman's favor.
Well played. That one big run on the remote server is so expensive, and that side game decided so much there.
It was. The whole game came down to that side game, I think, off of Adrian's face.
Betting 0 on both sides of the table. Bridgeman one massive run, but definitely taking it there. After round 2, again, that's an opponent. Either side of the table, you know that's it's going to be a hard-fought victory, but well played to both players. This is by no means the end of Augustus Caesar's run. There's a whole day today, and if there's a player expecting the top cut, I'm rooting as well for Augie. I'll play to both players.
RH doing RH things, though.
I'm glad we saw it again.
Yeah.
I think we'll see more of it, and I think there's slightly different brews. I think that Cloud Eater is alive and well. That's something that a lot of people are going to struggle with today. That's a massive sentry.
Nothing in the game breaks it.
No, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's big. Turns out it's big. And the text is incredibly awkward because there's a lot of times no good choice, and you're going to have to deal with that. Let alone sometimes, twice with Sisyphus Protocol, which is really fun. That's round 2. Again, we have so many more rounds today. We'll be jumping to a break. We'll be back in about, I think, 15 to 10 minutes. We have 9 more rounds of Netrunner today and even more tomorrow, of course, before the top cut. We're going to be throwing to some other nice folks who are going to be
Yeah.
taking our place at this table. My name is Andre.
My name's been Cranked.
And thanks so much for watching. Again, you want to spam some hype in chat, but we'll be back in about 15 minutes. We got a bunch more rounds ahead of us. You're watching the Netrunner Worlds 2025 Championship here in Edinburgh. Don't go anywhere.